So we've got our concave up parabola is x squared is 4ay, concave down is x squared is negative 4ay. I think some of us are still writing, so I'll just leave it there for a moment before we go on. So the important things to remember, because these we'll be doing over and over again, remember that your A is the focal length. So if you've forgotten that, make a little note of that on your page. A is the focal length. Focal length is the distance between the parabola at any given point and the focus, or you could think of it between the parabola and the directrix. Directrix is the line, focus is the point. Focus is inside the parabola, directrix is on the other side of the parabola. There's two of them, but there is another two. These other two are if we have these sort of parabolas. By the way, are these functions?
No.
Why not?
Because
Okay, the vertical line test would cut through these in two places. These are almost identical though, except we just say y squared is 4ax, and everything is the same other than x and y are switched around. And the same with this one. Okay, this is y squared equals negative 4ax. Focus is of course in both cases inside the parabola, directrix on the other side, always a distance of a apart. We're ready to do a few examples here. So, hopefully you've got your books there ready to go. Let's have a look at some questions. Example 1. Find the equation of a parabola where the focus given by negative 5, 0, and the equation of the directrix is x equals 5. Let's just draw a little sketch. A little sketch might help us to picture this. So the focus, x is negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and y is 0. So there's our focus, and the equation of the directrix is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is our directrix. Directrix is x equals 5, and this is the focus. And the focus is negative 5, 0. Now, the parabola has to have the focus inside, so it looks like it's going to be sort of that sort of parabola. Is that clear to us? So we have to have the focus inside our parabola. So there's our parabola. So let's find the equation of the parabola. Look back at the notes you've just taken. What type of parabola, or what is the form of the equation of a parabola that looks like that? Y squared equals what?
Negative 4a.
Negative 4a. Do we know what a is?
Yes.
Well, we do, because a is the focal length, and we can notice that the focus and the directrix are both how many units away from the vertex? 5, so a equals 5. We know a equals 5, so we just sub it in. Y squared, that should have been by the way. Y squared equals negative 4 times by 5, x. Y squared equals negative 20x, and we have worked the equation out already. With these, I always encourage you to draw a little sketch. A little sketch just helps you to visualize it, and I think it makes your job a lot easier. Question 2. Any questions, by the way, on question 1 before I go on? That makes sense? So the two things that you needed to do is first to recognise that it's this form. And
So the directrix is A. No?
in this case, yes. Because all of these ones that we're doing at the moment have a vertex of 0, 0. Okay? So it's the focal length. And yes, the directrix will help us with that because the directrix is going to be a unit away. So yes. Okay? For now, while we're doing ones that with the vertex at 0, yes, we can do that. Find the equation of a parabola with a focal length of 4 units. So let's just make a note. A equals 4. Vertex is 0, 0. Vertex equals 0, 0. And axis of symmetry is x equals 0. Well, why don't we draw another little sketch? So, y, x. It's got its vertex there. The axis of symmetry is x equals 0. So, that is this line here, or the y-axis. That's the axis of symmetry. It's going to be like this. And its focal focus would be here at 4. But is that the only one? There's actually 2 possibilities for this question. Does it have anything here to tell if it's concave up or concave down?
No.
I don't see anything. So it could alternatively be this. So we have 2 different ones, and then this one would of course have a focus there. So it says find the equation. So there are 2 possibilities, so let's make a note of that and write the equation. There are 2 possibilities. One is x squared equals 4ay. And what's a? In this case, it's yes. So x squared equals 4 times by 4y, or x squared equals 16y. Or the other possibility is x squared equals the concave down one has a negative. So negative 4ay, we also know that a is 4, x squared equals negative 4 times 4y, or x squared equals negative 16y. And there we have our 2 possibilities here. X squared equals 16y, or x squared equals negative 16y. Just rub off question 1. Is that all clear? Yeah? I know it's new, but hopefully it makes a little bit of sense. So really, to make the equation, there's only one piece of information you need. You need to know A. You also need to know which equation to use. So what is the form, whether it's concave up, concave down, or whether it's on the side. You need to know the form, but other than the form, you only need to know the value of A to write the equation.
Are they on our formula sheet or do you remember?
Oh, I think it's great. Well, let's come to question 3. Can I rub out question 2 now? Great. Example 3. So we've got the parabola is x squared equals negative 4y. Let's just compare this. These look very similar to our general form, x squared equals negative 4ay. So have a guess what a might be?
1.
It has to be 1. Because this is the general form. We're told the equation is this, so hence a has to be 1. So we know that A equals 1. Well, let's go through the parts. Part A, the coordinates of the vertex. Well, all the ones we're doing right now, what's the coordinates of the vertex?
0.
0, 0. So the vertex is simply 0, 0. Okay, coordinates of the focus. Well, let's just do our little sketch.
And how can you pick the -4y? Or is just what you pick?
Because I went, this looks like it's in this
Oh,
form.
okay.
It's a negative, and it's in the form of x squared. So that's why I picked that one. Okay? And I go, well, A has to be 1. So it's a negative, so it's going to be a concave down parabola, right? And the vertex is 0, 0. So it's going to be like that. Y, x. What else do we know? We know that A is 1. So A is 1. The focus, remember, is inside the parabola. So the focus has to be here. And that length is 1, so that has to be -1. The directrix is that same number of units, or the focal length, which is 1, units above the vertex. So it's going to be here, 1, and here's our directrix. So now I think we can, with our little sketch now, we should be able to go and do the next parts. The coordinates of the focus. Well, we've already noted that it's -1. -1 is the y value. What's the x value? 0. So the coordinates of the focus is simply 0, -1. For C, the equation of the directrix. Well, we already know that A is 1. The directrix has to be on the other side. The parabola can't cross the directrix. Other side, so this looks like the directrix must be y equals 1. Are we okay with that? That directrix, that line is y equals 1? And what must the focal length be? Well, we worked out the focal length right at the beginning, didn't we? Focal length is A, and we found that A was? So focal length equals 1. Focal length equals 1. How's that? Make some sense? Okay. Question 4. We are halfway there. Doing well. So we're going to find the equation of the parabola with a vertex. So we're given the vertex and we're given the focus. So what should we do to start off? Let's sketch it. Let's sketch it with what we know. So, question 4. Our sketch, so we have our y-axis, our x-axis. We know the vertex is 0, 0. We know the focus is -6. So let's say the focus is here at -6. That's -6, 0. Now the focus is inside the parabola. So we must be like this. Are we okay with that?
No. Isn't the x value first, so shouldn't the -6 be on the x-axis?
I should. I made a mistake. I did it the other way around and you are absolutely right. This is -6, x is -6. So let's say that's -6. 0, you have it nailed. So now we have that. So it should have been like this, right? You happy now? Great, thank you for pulling me up there. So, we should now have everything we need to work this out. looking at where the focus is, can somebody tell me what is A? A is the focal length, or A is 6, because it's 6 units away from the vertex, so A equals 6. Now we just have to decide what is the form of this one. Look back through your notes, tell me what the form of this parabola should be.
Y squared equals
Yes.
negative 4ax.
Negative 4ax. Well, we already know what A is, don't we? A is 6. So we just sub it in. Y squared equals negative 4 times by 6x. Y squared equals negative 24x. And all it said was to find the equation, and we've done it. Is that all clear? So once you start to get the terminology, these questions aren't that hard. But it's getting our heads around the terminology to start with. That's the challenge. Find the equation of the parabola with a vertex 0, 0. The equation of the axis is y equals 0, x equals 0. And that passes through the point. Oh, we've got a point this time. The point is negative 2, 1. Let's just put in all the things we know. And let's do a sketch. So, 5. Our sketch. Y, x. Well, we know the vertex is 0, 0. Okay, so the vertex goes through there. The equation of the axis is x equals 0, so it's going to be symmetrical around this axis. So it's either going to be like this or like this. And it passes through the point negative 2, 1. Does this give us a hint as to whether it is up, concave down or concave up? What is the y value there? 1. So 1 is a positive value, so this parabola must be on the positive side. This parabola must look like this. So it's of that form. That's all we know for now, but we do know what the form of this equation should look like. What should it be? Look back through your notes. Look at the 4 different types you have. What is it? X squared equals 4ay. So we know the form of it. Could we sub in the values? We know. We know 2 values. Let's sub it in. We know it goes through that point. So now let's now sub in negative 2, 1. Well, negative 2 is the x, so we have negative 2 squared equals 4 times a. We don't know a yet, but that's okay. We know that y is 1. Negative 2 squared is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. So we have 4 equals 4a. What is a? A equals 1.
Can I ask a question? How did you get the sketch to look like that? Where'd you get the, I don't get how you, from the 1.
Oh, okay. So 1 is positive. Now, if I was, let me get a different colour pen. If I did this sketch, the y, every single point along that parabola, y is a negative value. Because it's below.
So
The highest point is y equals
Yeah.
0.
But you don't worry about the x unless it was on
No.
the other end.
Exactly. If it was the other type, the sideways one, then
So
what
how
the
would-
x value would matter.
How do you know it wasn't that? Oh, from the...
Because it says the equation of the axis is that. So that's why we know that it's that form. Yeah, the little hints there to help us. So we're almost there. It just says find the equation. Well, we know it's of this form. We know that a is 1. So the equation is simply, equation is x squared equals 4 times 1, which is just 4. X squared equals 4y. Alternative way, Lisa, what you could have done, you could have plotted the point. You could have plotted to start with, x is negative 2, y is 1. You could have plotted the point and said the vertex is there, it goes through that point, hence it must be that form. So that's an alternative way you could have approached the question. Would have got the same way. We ready for the last one? Example 6. Let's do it. This time it says find the length of the lattice rectum of the parabola x squared equals 4ay. Lattice rectum. We did it yesterday. Anyone remember what the lattice rectum is? Look back through your notes. Definition 1.
Cuts through the focus.
It cuts through the
Parallel with the directrix.
Okay. Well, let's draw a sketch. Notice I'm always saying draw a sketch at the start here. Let's draw a sketch. We know it's x squared equals 4ay, so that's going to be one like this, right? We know it's going to be like that. We know that the focus is going to be A, and the directrix will be at negative A. So the lattice rectum is a chord that goes through the, or connects one side of the parabola to the other and goes through the focus and is parallel to the directrix. So in other words, it's going to be like that. Okay? And these two are parallel. This line and this line are parallel. So there we have our lattice rectum. I'm going to label the points. I'm going to say that this point is B, this one is A, where it crosses. We want to know the length. So, let's have y equals A. So let y. Do you notice something here? If this is A, this is parallel, what will the y value of this point be? A, y value. So let y equal A. Okay, so the y value here is A. So the y value here will also be A. The y value here will also be A because it's parallel. If it's parallel to the directrix, it's also parallel to the x-axis. So let's just sum it into our equation here. Y squared equals 4ay. But we're also saying that y equals A, so it equals 4a squared because we're substituting A for Y. So in other words, x equals the square root plus or minus of 4a squared, or x equals plus or minus 2a, because the square root of 4 is 2. Square root of a squared is a. So in other words, these points, we know what their values are. We know that the x value on this side is negative 2a, the y value is a, and what about over on this side? It's going to be positive 2a, and the y value we said was always a. So we have them both. We're almost there. We want to know the distance. So let's go back to the question. It says find the length of the lattice rectum. Find the length. Well, we don't need to use our distance formula here, do we? No. Can we see what the distance is going to be? So let's first just make a note here. A we're saying is 2AA. B we're saying is minus 2AA. Okay, so the length of AB equals, 2A on that side. 2A plus 2A is going to be a total of 4A.
Is one the negative?
Yeah.
It's a total of 4A, 2A, and this, the length between here and here is 2A, between here and here is 2A. So total distance, remember distance is always a positive, you can't have negative distance, is, alternatively we could have done it this way if you would have rather, we could have said 2A minus 2A, which would have ended up to also be 4A. So in other words, the length of the latus rectum, length of latus rectum is always just 4A. And we've done all 6 examples. What does that mean that you are able to do? With the notes, with the exercises I should say, on landscape you should now be able to do 17.4, 17.5. These questions are very similar to the questions we've been doing on the board together. Give them a go. You obviously have until Monday to get them done. Let's give that a try. See how much you could knock over in class now.